live. Hey guys, how's it going?
Great.
I saw Sean back there digging that intro. That music's kind of catchy, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it's good catchy stuff. I like it. Yeah.
That's right. It's a good earworm. So, folks, this is a special Saturday edition of the Dojo Kun Shill Shack. This is episode number 24, and it's special because, of course, if any of you have been living under a rock, you wouldn't know this, but Joe M. Sontag is launching Reaper Destroyer tonight on late night with ComicsGate. It's not going to be as late as it usually is. It's going to be a 9 p.m. launch. Yeah. How are the nerves doing, Joe?
They're starting to amp up. I'll say that. When I woke up this morning, I was pretty good when I woke up this morning. I had a little bit of a hangover from last night because I stayed up on Malin's show doing some drinking. I was doing some drinking on Ott and stuff. So, yeah, but I had to drink some water, pop some ibuprofen. My wife asked me, she's like, "So how you feeling?" And at that moment, I was like, "I feel good." Like just calm, cool, collected. And the later the day's been going, it's just like, it's setting in the reality of everything. The nervous aspect of trying to make sure everything is set and ready to go so that there won't be a trip up when I hit launch.
Yeah, exactly.
On Bancroft show
that's
and
so
everything.
Nerve-wracking.
I know. I'm just like, oh my God.
I mean,
crazy.
Everything's ready. All you just press the freaking button, right?
Yeah.
It's okay, Joey. I got some stuff I'm going to pass to you to calm your nerves.
Ooh.
You got it? You got it? You got it?
Wait.
Cool.
There you go. Just take a little bit of that. So yeah, that's called, believe it or not, there's a word for it, and it's called eustress, which is the opposite of distress. So eustress is the kind of thing that people feel before they go on camera, before they go on stage, before the game starts, whatever. It's this nervous excitement, even if you know you got this. You know what I mean? Like everything's all set, and you definitely got this, Joe. I mean, I haven't seen a campaign that's been this anticipated in quite a while. So I think that I'm actually worried that I'm not going to be able to get in as one of the first 100. That's how big I think this is going to be.
Well, we'll see. I had this conversation. Obviously, I hope the campaign's as big as it can be, but like I try to curb all expectations. So to the point where like I'll have to yell at Sean every once in a while because he'll be in my ear. He'll be like, "Dude, he'll be saying all these things." I'll be like, "No, dude, no." It's like nobody's gonna back it. All right, just chill out. Kind of thing. Like you gotta prepare for the worst so they can just enjoy what happens.
I think that there needs to be a happy medium, Joe, because I think you're going to crush it, but at the same time, you don't want to be overly optimistic. I get that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So somewhere in between. I don't know what your funding goal is. I think we'll see that when we come out, unless you can talk about it now. Is that
the funding goal is going to be at 5K.
Oh, see that's reasonable.
Yeah.
My prediction.
That's 1K.
Right above you, yeah. So my prediction, and you take it for what it's worth, my prediction is that you will fund on Bancroft's show.
That'd be completely amazing.
I think that's going to happen. I really do.
I can back that.
Oh, okay. I like it. You guys want to take bets?
Oh shit.
Oh, you think he's not going to? You're going to bet against me?
Oh, I was saying you're betting against me.
No. It's like numbers wise. Like we could be like, oh, is he going to like fund and then how much over? Like I got 100 on a.
Oh shit.
I'll put my money on my man.
I see. What number are you going for?
15.
Oh shit.
Like overall, or you mean
for tonight?
Just tonight, 15.
Yeah.
15. Wow, dude.
That would be awesome.
Okay. Now, look, in the long run, in the long run of things, once all things are said and done, once he's in fulfillment, he's going to be very, very happy with his overall numbers and backer numbers. It's going to be a hell of a campaign. It might not take a day to get to the whatever goals and this and that, but he's going to bug and crush it. So.
Okay, so my first prediction was funding on the show at 9 o'clock. Okay, my second prediction, and again, Joe's going to be a little uncomfortable. My second prediction is this is going to be 6 figures on young lady.
Oh my God!
Wow. Yep.
That's a hell of
no pressure, Joe.
Man.
No pressure.
God dang.
I mean, here's why I say this. Okay, you don't have to be an EVS or a John Malin to hit it, because Clint Stoker proved you can. Von Klaus proved you can. So what do you need then? You need a YouTube presence, you need a Twitter following, You need not just YouTube, but you also need the kind of personality, the kind of following that keeps people coming back for more. Now, Sean, you can attest to this. I've been in the Ott and Stuff chat from the very beginning.
Yes, you have.
So you guys are very personable. And Joe, you mentioned this somewhat recently, maybe a month or so ago, that when you started Ott and Stuff, you were not necessarily CG at the time. You were just indie comics.
We're just indie comic creators. Yeah,
you were CG friendly. You were. I mean, you had me in the chat. I think you had me on the show for Siamese before you guys actually like officially declared.
We might have, yeah.
So but the thing is, because you're so personable, both of you, and you're irreverent when it's appropriate, or maybe when it's not appropriate. Who cares? That's irreverency for you, right?
Yeah.
But you keep people coming back for more, and it's that kind of personal relationship that I think you've built over time that will bring people to want to support your book. On top of the fact that you've got an amazing lineup of talent on this book. In addition to your own art, you've got 2 image inkers, right? Matt Banning and Joe Weems.
Yeah.
You've got Kyle Ritter on colors, Eric Weathers on letters. You've got a co-writer / editor in Mark Polton. I mean, damn, this is an all-star lineup.
Yeah, that's a great lineup.
Yeah, it absolutely is an all-star lineup. That's one thing. Like, I think I was on last night. Again, I was drunk last night, so I was trying to be on with Mailing and talk, and he kept saying like, Joe, talk about Reaper Destroyer, and I'm just like, fuck. I was like, I came on here and I'm like, this is probably not the best state of mind to be in and try to talk about my campaign. But that's the best thing I can just my go-to is just to focus on the team, because that is just legitimate. Like, I'm blessed as hell to be working with the guys I'm working with. I still don't understand how it happened, but I'm glad it did. And it's an absolute dream come true to be working with guys that I grew up idolizing. I idolized Matt Banning and Joe Weems because they were inking my favorite artists, and Mark Silvestri and some of the other guys I absolutely loved in the 90s. And I always wanted to work with them as a kid. I'm 14 years old or whatever. Always wanted to go to Top Cow or whatever and work with those guys. And now here I am, 40 years old, working with them for real on a project that is about ready to launch here. It's when I stop and think about it, it's still just I got to pinch myself. It doesn't seem real. God has blessed me quite a bit, and all praise to Him for everything, for sure.
It's amazing when, as a collector, years past, you've seen these names, I don't know, a dozen or more times, and that you've noticed the name, for example. It wasn't until I was probably a collector as an adult that I started noticing that, whoever is the artist on this one, I see his art over and over again, and I started recognizing Perez's work versus Burns' work versus Lee's work, and it started, clicking like, this, I could spot Burns' work a mile away now, right. So you start to recognize that thing. So for you to work with these guys who you idolized is a dream come true, I'm sure. Now, Sean was mentioning before the show that you've been working on Reaper Destroyer for more than a couple of days. How long have you been doing this?
Well, shit. I created Reaper Destroyer back in 2005, I think.
Wow.
And it would back then was when I was trying to get the book launched. I was in my early 20s, aspirations of breaking into the business, trying to come up with a portfolio so I could go to cons or whatever and show my work. And I never really knew how to get hold of scripts to draw comic book scripts. So I just decided to start doing my own stuff, and that led into creating my own character.
Okay.
And I created Reaper Destroyer on a whim. I was just drawing one day. This happens a lot of times when I create character designs. I just draw. And I just start throwing stuff in and whatever looks cool. And I'm just like, oh, that looks really cool. I'm going to make it a character. And I did the same thing with Reaper Destroyer. The original preview ashcan, which is this, that I put out in 2007. I drew this picture. It was the first picture I ever drew of Reaper Destroyer. And it was just I was just bored one day drawing. And I came up with this character design. And I was
looking for mine.
I understand. I named the character and went from there and put together a story and tried to get it out. I printed up. I can't remember how many of those I printed up, but took them to a convention, sold them. People seemed to like it, and it was something I was really into. I was digging the story. It was developing, and then I took a 10-year hiatus from comics and drawing. Right after that. So coming back Sean, really gave me a kick in the butt to bring the character back because I was thinking about doing other things, still trying to get in the industry or whatever. And I think one day he sent me a picture of the ash can that he had from the time that we were at the conventions together. He was like, dude, you remember this? You need to bring this character back. And I was just like, really? And he was like, yeah, dude. He's like, I'm telling you. So, I mean, he was on me from it. And then, he kind of got the spark going. And, I eventually got into doing it. And once I got back into it, tentacle. Once I got back into it, it was, I hit the ground running. Like I refound my love for the character and what I could do. I retooled the story. 10 years of experience of just life and just whatever I'd be looking into and researching. I got heavily into like conspiracies and things of that nature. So there was all this stuff floating around in my head that I thought would make a really cool story. And I put it all together. And it took me probably about 2 years to like hammer out what I wanted to do with the character before I even started doing any kind of real drawing for the character. So I've been working on it for a while, mostly the story. And then I started the art last year, but it was just kind of on again, off again, because I was trying to find my team. I had an inker lined up, bailed out. I had another inker lined up, bailed out. I had a colorist lined up, bailed out. It's just like this back and forth kind of thing. And I went through, some financial issues with different stuff. So I started taking on more commissions for extra money. And I'm finally at a point now where, I've been able to settle down and work on the book and my team is set and just things are actually working out to the point where it's like, all right, it's go time. And I've been able to steadily be working on the character now. So it's been a long journey. I think Sean said something like 16 years in the making, that this is. Wow. Yeah, it's insane.
Well, you say 05, like to me, 06, same shit. I just don't do that.
Yep.
But it's been a long time in the making. And like, for me, this is personal because my brother-in-law was the original inker. That's how me and Joey became friends.
Right. That's how
Bruce. That's how
that was actually one of my questions, Sean. I was going to ask you, how did you guys? Now, Joe mentioned the conventions and all that, but how did you guys actually start this friendship? What was the catalyst?
Sean.
Well, Bruce mentioned to Joe that he should come to New York Comic Con 07.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, the first year in the Javits Center, or maybe second. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But I had a great Friday night. Okay. I hung out with Rob. So that was
not name dropping or anything,
Right. The Rob.
We know who you mean.
Yeah, okay. So I had a great night, hung out with him. I get home, I go party. I had some good times with the lady friend of mine, and I'm
not that he's bragging or anything.
Yeah, not that I'm bragging. So anyway, Bruce is like to Joe, come out to PA where Bruce was living at the time. They drove out to Jersey where I was living at the time with my folks. And then I wake up that Saturday morning still drunk, okay? And just kind of like not out of it. Well, out of it. And in comes my brother-in-law Bruce and then Joe Madureira.
Wow.
Because he looks like Joe Madureira
at the time. All right, at the time I was really clean cut, short hair, nice clean kept goatee. I had a nice tan going on because I was just, I was young and I used to tan and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
A members only jacket.
No, that's he keeps spreading that rumor. It's not true. Not true.
They were taking applications, whoever they were. But anyway, so he came by, the three of us and my dad. We go out to Manhattan, and then you wait on that line before you get a pro badge. You wait on the line, as a fan. And we're just kicking it. I'm just kind of chilling there, just trying to come to life and joke. Yeah. We're both talking about our loves of different artists and inspirations of what we want to do. And it was easy. It was an easy conversation. It's like I knew this dude already for a couple of years. And we hung out like more so than I did with Bruce, or he hung out with Bruce. Like we clicked.
We clicked right away. It was crazy. And a lot of it did have to do with our love for Image Comics and Rob and all this stuff, because at the time I really hadn't met anybody else that had that kind of same passion for Image and that era of comics. Right. And so we just right off the bat clicked, and that was pretty much it from that point on. And I talked to him probably more than I talked to Bruce, and Bruce was doing my book. Mm-hmm. So
we went out to Chicago when you guys were first pitching the book and you sold the first ash cans. And that was awesome. Like I went to hang out, and I like to learn. I like to step behind the booth and kind of see, like to ask questions. I like to see like what to do for portfolio, what to do to get published, this and that. Like I wasn't there to sell myself in that essence. So I learned a lot from there, and we had a great time. It was a phenomenal weekend. And then after a while, Joe kind of went away. He went to do music. Yeah, he disappeared. He went to do music. And I've always felt that like there was times during those 10 years where I was like, whatever happened to that guy? Because I couldn't find him on MySpace because MySpace kind of went away.
Right.
Yeah, MySpace, good old times.
I was doing my own thing. I was in and out of doing the convention scene. I was, working part-time jobs, partying more so than anything else. He was on the stage partying. I was in the clubs. So it was cool. I on Facebook, he hit me up or I hit him up. Whatever the scenario was, it's like, oh, long time no see. But he had this long, like Pantera hair. And he's just like in his profile picture. I'm like, damn.
I saw the video of some of that. It looked awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? It was
good times.
It's like we picked up, and then from that day we just kind of like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Like, because we're our own cheerleaders, and we always workshop shit off of us.
Hey, Omo Babies.
He's in the chat. Now things are real, right?
Yeah, that is right. Now it's real.
Are you nervous now?
I'm never nervous. I love Mo. Mo.
Eric the Guapo is with us too.
Hey,
so,
Eric.
My next question. This is to you, Joe.
Okay.
We're talking about Reaper Destroyer. Now,
yes.
I want to ask you specifically about the name of the book. Okay. Now, does Reaper Destroyer mean it's a destroyer of the Reaper, or it's two words that mean the same thing? Or do you tell us about the name and the catalyst for that?
All right. So the original idea for the book was why I chose the name for it. But I threw out the original idea and retooled the story, so I had to come up with a different reason of why I call it. Because I always like the name Reaper Destroyer because it's to me it's unique. It's not something you hear, and I think even if it sounds weird to somebody, it sticks with you. You know, like you say it and somebody's going to remember it. The reason why I chose it because I remember being a big fan of Hunter's Killers when that came out, or Hunter Killer when it came out, of Mark Silvestri's Top Cow, Mark Silvestri, Joe Weems, Steve Furcow. And I really liked the aspect of a book having two different names that had reasons for it. The original story was going to be monsters that were called the Reapers, and then the character that was called the Destroyer, and they were going to be in this constant struggle and fight, and battle with one another. And so Reaper Destroyer sounded good to me. I was like, all right, I'm going to throw those characters together, those names together, and boom, there's the title. When I retooled the story, I took a lot of that out because it was of the time of that I was writing it, in the early 2000s or mid 2000s when I was coming up with the concept. There was a lot of stuff that was like of that time that I just didn't think fit anymore in modern day. And at this point, we're talking about 2020, when I kind of really started retooling everything.
So he said you threw out the original idea and the original name, which of course was
P-Pack Destroyer. That's right. That's true. Yeah. So when I retooled the story and took out some of the aspects of it, there were a few things about the character that didn't make sense anymore. One, he used to wear a trench coat because he was a kind of combination of Moon Knight and Punisher as how I originally designed him. It was alien technology at the time because I was big into ancient aliens and all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, of course, aliens. But since when I retooled it and decided to take all that away, I gave him vastly more powers than he originally had. And it didn't make sense for this dude to be going around with a trench coat because I was like, this trench coat is going to last all about 5 minutes in a fight, and then it's going to disintegrate or it's going to be torn off. It just doesn't make sense for him to wear it. So I was trying to stay away from the hood and the cape because that's been done to death. And I remember talking to Sean about this, and I was stuck. I was like, dude, I don't know what to do. Because if I do this, he's going to look like Moon Knight, or he's going to look like this and blah, blah, blah. I was like, and I just don't want that comparison or have people think I'm ripping off characters. And Sean was like, shut the fuck up, dude. Just do it. He's like, who cares what they think? And I was like, strangely compelling. I like it.
You know what, though? It wouldn't matter, Joe, what kind of costume you selected. There would always be a superhero before it that people would draw comparisons. So the big deal is what you do different, what you do to make the character unique in your writing, in your scenarios and things like that. I mean, I immediately got, oh, so Siamese is just Catwoman twice, right? Like,
Right,
well,
exactly. Yeah.
Visually, I guess, yeah, you could see that it looks a lot like Catwoman and Black Cat, whatever. But I'm hoping when you read it, that's not what you're seeing. So I don't expect.
It's how you tell the story and everything, and you know how you develop your characters. That's going to be different because everything in the industry, from what the 70s on, 60s on down, or whatever, maybe earlier than that, are derivatives of characters. You know, we all come from a similar thought process when it comes to creating characters. It's what we were influenced on when we were reading as kids, and that goes to any generation that worked in comic books. When they get a chance to get into the industry, they're influenced by what they were influenced as kids, and they put it out on paper, you know. So you get derivatives of derivatives and blah blah blah. So you're going to get similar character looks, and I know this because I remember even back in 2006 or maybe it was 2007 when I had the book out and I was trying to really finish that up. I would see characters pop up all the time that look like Reaper Destroyer, you know, and I was just like, how the fuck do all these people have the same idea and the same look, you know? And like, it was just because they got probably the same influences I got, you know? So you can't avoid it. You know, you do it and make it as unique as possible. You know, when I redesigned his costume, my thought process was trying to throw in a bunch of different character looks that I liked and just no holds barred. Let's just do whatever. Like there was no rules to, oh, I can't do this, or it's going to be too hard to draw, or how's he going to look from the back? Like, I didn't give a shit. Like, you know, he's got a cape. Oh, yeah, that's what he looks like from the back. He's got a cape, you know, so who cares?
Right.
So I did whatever I could to make it look cool to me, and then hope that other people would think it would look cool as well. And then, you know, the story retooled it as best as I can for the modern day, you know, sharing some of my conspiracy theories in the book, putting a little bit of my religious conspiracy theories in the book as well, and just expanding the story from a modern day tale, because it kind of takes place a little bit like near future, I guess you could say, but it spans all the way back to the dawn of time. So there's lots of room for character development for many different characters, many different generations, and many different times throughout history.
I did have a question, Joe. You know, I really dug the ash can. Is what was in there story wise, is that going to be a part of the book that's coming out?
Yes.
Or is that okay? Excellent.
Yeah, that's the new direction of the story. So that is the first that's the first 6 pages of the actual book, isn't there? It's just black and white with scripts. So anybody that got the ash can, by the way, thank you to everybody out there that backed it. And also there's the silver foil ash cans. I'm still working on the rest of the head sketches. Those will be going out soon. And everybody that didn't get a head sketch, your book is in the mail. So
my book's right over here.
Hell yeah. So
you know what, Joe? I saw a lot of people getting theirs before me. It's like, dang it, I'm in the same state. Why am I not getting it before all these other people?
I know it's
held out on you.
The mail's weird sometimes. It's really weird. Plus, you know, I never shipped everything all at once. There were different, you know, different trips down. I think I did things like in threes, you know, so it wasn't overwhelming to be at the post office and getting all those packages dropped off, you know. So I tried to make it a little bit easier.
Okay.
I can't remember what I was talking about. I segued there for a second.
You have a cape and you don't need to draw the back.
Oh, I was just talking about the design. Yeah, I mean, so fortunately, people have seemed to like the design of the character and the look of the character, and I'm glad I struck a chord with that fan base, you know, because I'm trying to bring back that feel, and I feel like it is a lot of people out there that are waiting for something like that, and I'm hoping this can be that book.
So yeah, you know, that brings me to my next point, and that is I have some advice for you, Joe. And
okay, shoot.
Having just failed 2 campaigns, you know, maybe I'm not in the right place to give advice, but I'm older than you, so I'm going to be the dad here for a second.
Okay,
stick with this IP at least for a few before you introduce something new, because I think that although there's been some examples of people who have bounced from IP to IP and then back to this one at number 2 and then back to this one, I think that it's if you can make your mark real well with Reaper Destroyer issues 1, 2, maybe even go as far as 3 before introducing another IP, that would be my advice.
Well, let me tell you something. I plan on sticking with Reaper Destroyer for a while. Mo Biggs, what's up? like to thank Joe for not overpromising on his launch like Rose did. He could have fallen into that same trap. I'll reunite Limp Bizkit. Oh, and we're gonna play Crack Addict on the Bancroft show. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
I definitely can announce that I plan on being on Reaper Destroyer for as long as I can think. I've got a 4-issue story arc that I'm doing. So this is issue 1 of a 4-issue story arc. It's an ongoing thing because that's what I'm about. I'm about comic books, not necessarily graphic novels, one and done kind of thing. This is ongoing storytelling is what we're doing here. But I also have aspirations and a want to grow Superior Press, which is my comic book imprint. Mm-hmm. And I have plans in the works for other IPs I would like to get out after the first Reaper Destroyer is fulfilled. And I've got other characters and other books I'd like to do that is not going to involve me on art or storytelling, but I can hire writers, I can hire artists, and that can take the projects over. I can oversee it, as like the editor, producer, whatever. And I want to build my shared universe. I'm doing that because there are characters in the story arc that you're going to see in Reaper Destroyer that I want them. They're designed to have their own storylines. You're going to see characters introduced in issue 1, and they might have a greater role in issue 3. But before issue 3 comes out, I want you to get to know those characters. So I want to get a solo book out for those characters so you can get to know them, what their story is. So when they show up and, they're involved with the storyline, that you're gonna have an interest in them. You're gonna know what's going on. It's gonna feel a little bit more put together. So
okay, that's fair.
I'm definitely trying to grow. But yeah, as far as an artist go, I'm staying on Reaper Destroyer for a while. Absolutely.
It's good to hear.
Sean, you were in a discussion group. You mentioned it before the show. You're in a discussion group with Joe and several others, fans like Amanda B. and Lord Crackhead. Who else was in this group?
Leandro and the amazing Rick Saylor.
That's right. And Rick's in the chat now, so hail Rick.
Hail Rick.
I do.
My question to you, Sean, you helped him with the campaign design. What about this campaign design do you think will resonate most with the backers?
There's something for everyone. As far as affordability, or as far as fan-wise, like what you're into, because there's a lot of different stuff that Joe has set up for. What do you like? Different types of maybe a different cover, or we read your damn tweet thing where it's like follow what I do.
We watched all your videos.
Yeah,
man.
what more do you want?
We covered this last night, Rob.
yeah. Somebody's a salty Sally. But no, there's something for everybody, that even if you can't afford the higher tiers, which I suggest everybody go for the higher tier, secret tiers, because phenomenal shit. Yeah, again, there's something for everybody. Whether you could afford just a single book, or you could get a variant, or you could get 2 books, or you could get original art, or you could buy a page. You could buy a page of Joe's art with Joe memes or Bat. Do it. Take your kids' allowance. They're not going to college.
College is overrated.
Yeah, college is overrated. So no, there's something for everybody. Everybody's gonna whoever backs their hard-earned money on this project. You're gonna be, once you get the book in a year or so, you're gonna be like, wow. No. Joe's mentioned this. Once you get the book in your hands, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like this is amazing, because I get to see everything firsthand. And I have NFTs available. Slide in my DMs. So you're gonna love it. I love it. Like besides his wife, I'm probably his number 1 cheerleader, maybe 2 if that counts. But yeah, you're gonna love this book, and there's something for everybody.
Excellent. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of
I do have to give a shout out real quick to the focus group, or whatever we want to call it. Just call it the Reaper Destroyer group. To Amanda B, Leandro, Jaron, Lord Crackhead, Rick Saylor, Sean was a part of it as well. And we got together a collection of people that were all different, from major collectors like Rick. He backs everything. Dude's got a hell of an insane collection of books and original art, all the way down to like Amanda, who is a great backer of books, but she's not as big of like a collector. So it was a mesh of good ideas of what people liked in campaigns, what they liked to see, what they didn't like, and it was fun at times. There was some really good conversation back and forth, almost debate every once in a while of people's opinions, but it was great. I really enjoyed it, and I think they helped me put together the best campaign that I can put together for a first timer.
And
I'll
it works
learn- I'll
out for
learn
me
from
as well because I'm going to be using. I'm taking that initial data for type 1, and we decided to turn type 1 into Hep C. So you heard it first. but no, it was a great experience all around. We trust all of their ideas, and it's just a blessing as a first time creator myself, just being a part of that.
So it was more about getting ideas for the campaign, not so much about the book.
Yeah, it was all about just camping because we're first timers. So we've spent the last year talking to creators that have been on the show. I mean, Brian, you know this because we've talked to you about it when you've been on the show, just asking the ups and downs, the pitfalls, and stuff like that from the experience of the people that have been there before us. And the idea with the group was to get the thought process from the fans or the backers, because we talked to a lot of creators, but I wanted to see what the backers thought, and I wanted to get people that had difference of opinions because I really wanted to kind of hammer out stuff. And again, I had the overall say, so if I still wanted to pull my card, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do it anyway. But
That's great to get that kind of feedback.
Oh yeah,
it was really, and it was eye opening too. I mean, there were some things I hadn't thought of that people were bringing up, and I was like, okay, okay, that makes sense, So I highly recommend it for creators. It's grab people you trust and just bounce ideas off of, and because they're going to be the ones back in the book.
No, that's a lie. That's a fibby wibby. I put take a shot in the type 1 trailer for the mail list. So
he did specifically for Mo Biggs.
For Mo Biggs.
Did it.
So earlier today, Mark Poulton put out a tweet indicating there's a variant cover by Shelby Robertson.
Yeah.
Now, I am a shameless simp for Shelby. I don't care who knows it. I love his stuff. Like I said, I'm worried about being one of the first 100 so I can get that metal card, which also features Shelby's art. So my question, I got 2 questions on this one. Number 1, are there other variants?
That's a good question.
What you like to know.
So, all right, then I guess the second question might help me out.
It's by Rob the Replicator.
Yeah, Rob's doing the secret variant for the campaign. Everybody, fantastic artist.
I have heard he's a great artist, and we're glad to have him in the. Yeah,
he's better than some.
Okay, so is there a tier? Maybe you can answer this one since we know about Shelby's cover and we know you got your cover. Is there a tier on which I can get yours and Shelby's?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got, like Sean had mentioned before about the campaign, we try to put together. There's quite a few tiers, not overboard, but there's quite a few tiers because everyone was like, well, you should make sure that this is a combo or this is a combo that if people want to pick and choose. And then on top of that, I've got, you can add on almost everything. So if you want to do your own mix and match, if it's not available, which I think we did a good job of making everything available, but if it's not, you can add anything to anything at checkout. But there's a tier that has both the covers. And then there's a tier that's an everything cover or everything tier that you back once and you get everything. Anything that's added to the campaign down the line, whether it's funding or in demand, automatically goes to that tier.
So
I highly suggest that one.
First, let's see what Rick said that got Amanda's ire. So if there's anything you like about the campaign, I'll take credit. But if there's anything you don't like, I blame Amanda. And then Amanda is here. And hey,
I love it. Like I said, working with those guys and gals were amazing. And it was fun. It was fun chat. It was good to see everybody interact and throw different ideas against the wall. So a fun group of people to work with for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Oops, I meant to do that. There we go.
IP Death Killer. Ooh.
Death Killer. All right. So I'm getting the sense then that there are indeed some other possible variants. And I sensed also last night when somebody said, hey, don't add to the campaign after I've already backed. And, at first I said, yeah, exactly. But there is a caveat to that. If you add something later, make sure it could be selected as a separate tier so I don't have to refund and then back you again to get that new thing. Because
So this is one of the things that came up and it made a lot of sense to me if anything gets added to the campaign later, as far as another cover or an extra book or whatever, if you are already a backer, it'll be a secret tier link that you'll get a secret tier, and it will be like free shipping. You can add it right to your campaign, and it might also be a discount on the book as well. So everybody else that hasn't backed, it just goes up as an actual book. So again, if you even if you didn't get the everything tier, if you just backed one book, you're still going to get that email before we even put the book up that's saying, hey, this is coming, blah blah blah, and no extra shipping. It can automatically be added to your order, and like I said, it might be a little bit of a discount on the actual book as well. So excellent. But if you get the everything tier, automatically get it.
You get everything,
no matter what we put in it. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. That's good to know. I'll back the highest tier I can, but although I'm no Rick Saylor, I do back a lot of campaigns. I've backed, I got to say this quietly, 44 campaigns so far this year.
This year?
This year.
Damn.
Good for you. Yeah. Good for the ones you backed.
I'm at 156 overall since I joined CG. So.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Damn.
Watch out,
congratulations. Awesome.
So well, this, you know what, guys, this has completely replaced my comic book collecting from the mainstream. I used to go to the LCS, and I'd have a pull list, a stack every time I go in there, and I don't do that anymore. I collect a couple of things, like I get this, whether it's good or not, I don't know. I haven't read it because this is my favorite mainstream character right here. Yeah. So I still get her stuff, but very, very few. And sometimes it pains me to see what they're doing with it, and I don't want to make that what the stream is about. But the point is that my backing all of these CG campaigns has replaced all of the comics I used to buy. What now?
Rob's all stirring shit.
Good chat.
Sorry. Bring up mom jokes. Like, that's the one place you don't go, homeboy.
All right, dude. It's all good.
I'm kidding. Jesus.
It's like, I'm good.
I will say Rob did have a good question that I was actually wanting to ask.
What's that?
Not that one.
You had a good question.
There you go. Yeah, it was a good question, I thought.
I'm just kidding.
When do we get to see the campaign page?
So if you follow us right after the show at 7:00, we'll be doing an Out and Stuff tailgate show, and we'll be showing off the page there sometime during the show. So we'll kind of go through it a little bit and try to get ready so that when we hit Bancroft's show at 9:00, we just kind of do a recap for everybody that doesn't watch us later and get right into it.
Very cool. Okay. So you're going to actually do it from 7 right up to 9:00.
Well, we're going to do 7 to 8, and I'm going to take a little bit of a break and spend a little time with my family and just kind of
good call.
Everything.
Sure.
Yep. And then join Bancroft at 9. Yep.
So my intent, Joe, is to be on all of these shows in the chat if I can. We'll see how that goes, but I'm definitely going to be at the Bancroft show, even if I have to set an alarm to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, it's been great to have you on. I'm intentionally going to cut this a little short than the normal hour that I run, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, I'm starting to feel kind of out of it,
definitely
I'm gonna go before I got to dip out. But also, two, because I know you've got the 7:00 show coming up, so I wanted to give you a chance to reset. Hit the loo if you got to, etc.
I got some things to do.
Okay. Okay, so before we go, though, Mo's got a question. To get the mailing list card, do we have to wait for an email and click a special link, or do we get it automatically if we're on the mailing list? I think is what he means.
So with the mailing list is a discount right now on 3 of the tiers that we're doing. The card is for the first 100 backers, and then there's cards to the stretch goal. Now, I just would like to say, and my group had to talk me out of this quite a bit, because I'm just one of those guys like, oh, we could do this. Well, I'll just do a lot of free stuff. I still plan on putting free stuff into the campaigns no matter what you back. If anybody got the ash can, you backed the ash can. I got you a print and a magnet, and that was I didn't even tell anybody. It was just something I put in. I'm always going to do. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm almost going to do stuff like that just because I think it's fun for the backer to get extra stuff that they don't even know about. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of how I operate. There's going to be stuff that you didn't even know that you're going to get when you actually get the book, no matter what you back. So,
and what Rob does, like how he gives more prints and whatever. Like I'm not saying Joe's giving prints, but that's something that we both kind of looked at. We're like, oh, that's a great idea, just to say thank you for spending your hard-earned money.
Yeah, Rob's my main inspiration for sure.
So you've got,
But no, seriously, like, I really enjoyed the replicator. Oh, everything that came with the replicator, I really did. I was like, yes, like that's I like that because there's lots of things you can do that aren't going to hurt your pocketbook too bad. That can be extra stuff that you can give out to the backers just for backing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, he's like a pre-tailgate party. That's right.
Yes.
This is big hype, Michael. Yeah. You're right. I've been in these guys' chat since the very beginning, so I wanted to give him an opportunity to come on here and answer some questions that maybe he hadn't covered already 100 times.
Can I give a shout out to Michael real quick, because when I originally approached him about the book, it was supposed to be April 29th, and I misscheduled myself at work, and I had to skip that day. And when I went back to him, that he had already booked up to like the next time I'd be available. Which was the Friday. I was looking to do it on a Friday, and he kind of threw out there like, we could do it on a Saturday. So like a giant shout out to him for even making this possible. That it's on today, and
right, because it's not normally a day that he would stream, right?
Yeah, and I know he's done it a couple times already, but yeah, it was like one of those things. I was just like, wow, that's really awesome that he would be willing to do that to just still so I could launch on his show. So giant shout out to Bancroft. I love you, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you and hanging out with you at 9 o'clock.
Yep. So you got until 9 o'clock. You actually got till probably sometime after 9 o'clock, maybe 9:20, 9:30 before they officially do the countdown and the launch to sign up on his page, which I've got up here. It's also in the description. As you can see, I put my email in there, but there's a little message telling me you have already signed up to this.
Yeah, I always love that too. Sometimes I'll forget to, and I'll do that in other people's campaigns. I'm like, you already signed up. I'm like, okay, good.
Right.
I signed up before he went live with the whole mailing list, and it's like something went wrong. I'm like, oh damn, the ship is sinking. The ship is sinking. But then I tried to do it again. It's like, you're good.
So just to let everybody know, at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be sending out an email to people for the secret tiers. And then I will update that again before we actually launch the campaign. So I'm sure Mike will give me a second there to put the new signups and send that out before we actually launch the campaign. But if you have been signed up and you're signed up for a while, check your spam folders, because every time I've sent a test email, it's gone right to my spam every single time. Every single reminder. Time. So,
definitely check that out. And for being such a good sport, for supporting Joe on pretty much every turn, every opportunity. Sean is also going to be launching this year his book, and I wanted to let you all know, here is his sign-up page. It's also available. He's going to launch sometime in the mid or late summer. He's still figuring that out. And as you can see, Sean, I've already signed up to this one. So anyway.
So this is going to be great. This one's going to be great. We showed off the color cover last night on Odd and Stuff. By the legendary Dan Kemp, who was a Spawn colorist, and he's just making this book look amazing. It's going to look great. It's going to be awesome. Don't miss out on this one.
Thank you to everybody that's just like all the praises. Like, I'm not used to it. I love it, but give me more.
It's great. Yeah, keep it coming.
Give me more.
I'm trying to get on Joe Rogan to launch on Joe Rogan.
That's true.
So
that'd be awesome. Get into existence.
Okay, guys. So hail to the chat. Thank you all for being here. And for those of you who are going to watch later on the replay, appreciate all of you as well. K Manifesto, thanks for being here. It's been a while since we've streamed together. Really glad that you've been here. And Joe, good luck tonight. I think you're going to crush it. Looking forward to being one of the first 100. I'm going to try. Sean, we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks for being here as well. And hail CG, everybody. Take care.
Hail ComicsGate.
See you guys.